Have you ever wondered how a small country like Qatar, with a population of just over 2 million, became one of the wealthiest nations in the world? How did this tiny desert country transform itself from poverty to global wealth? What are the key factors driving its impressive financial success? In today's video, we'll dive deep into Qatar's incredible rise to wealth, how it makes money, and what lessons we can learn from its story of rapid economic transformation. From oil and gas to global investments, Qatar's financial landscape is a fascinating journey. So let's get started and understand how this tiny country became a major global player in such a short time. Qatar's early history and economic transformation. Qatar, located in the heart of the Arabian Peninsula, is a small peninsula extending into the Persian Gulf. Despite its modest size, the country has played a key role in regional politics and economy for centuries. However, Qatar's economic story really began to unfold in the early 20th century, as it started transitioning from a traditional economy to one that would rival some of the wealthiest countries in the world. Before its economic boom, Qatar was a small, underdeveloped territory, with its economy primarily focused on pearl diving and fishing. For centuries, the people of Qatar relied on the seas for their livelihoods. However, the collapse of the pearl trade in the early 20th century, coupled with territorial disputes with neighboring Bahrain, left Qatar struggling financially. It became clear that Qatar needed to find new sources of wealth to ensure its future. In the early 1900s, Qatar was still a British protectorate, which limited its autonomy. However, it wasn't long before a series of important changes began to reshape the nation. The discovery of oil in the late 1930s would be the turning point that forever changed the country's fortunes. Discovery of oil, Qatar's economic revolution. In 1939, drilling at a well in Duqm struck oil, and this discovery marked the beginning of Qatar's transformation. The drilling was initially carried out by the Anglo-Persian Oil Company, which held a concession agreement with the ruling Al Thani family. Although drilling stopped temporarily during World War II, Qatar's oil reserves were waiting to be tapped. After the war, operations resumed, and by 1949, Qatar was ready to start exporting oil. The country made its first shipment on December 31st, sending 80,000 tons of oil to Europe. This was a monumental step, as it marked Qatar's entry into the global energy market. By the 1950s, oil revenues were already pouring into the country, transforming its economy almost overnight. The discovery of oil not only provided Qatar with immediate wealth, but also provided the foundation for the country's long-term development. In the 1950s, Qatar's oil production skyrocketed, increasing from 34,000 barrels per day to over 100,000 by 1954. The country's profits also soared, with Qatar earning $1 million in oil revenues in 1950 and $23 million by 1954. This massive increase in wealth was driven by a new agreement between Qatar and the British, which split profits 50-50, giving the Al Thani family a substantial share of the revenue. With newfound wealth, Qatar began developing its infrastructure. Roads, hospitals, schools, and modern public services were rapidly built. The government also improved administrative structures, transitioning from a traditional tribal system to a more modern state governance model. This laid the groundwork for Qatar's modern-day financial prosperity. The role of natural gas and the 1970s oil crisis. The 1960s and 1970s saw even more prosperity for Qatar. In the 1960s, vast offshore gas fields were discovered off Qatar's coast, cementing the country's position as a global energy powerhouse. Not only did this discovery give Qatar the third largest natural gas reserves in the world, but it also provided the country with a new source of revenue to complement its booming oil industry. During the 1973 oil crisis, when many Arab countries raised oil prices in response to Western support for Israel, Qatar benefited enormously. The rising prices, along with Qatar's nationalization of its oil and gas industries in 1971, boosted the country's revenues even further. By the mid-1970s, Qatar's economic development was well underway, and the country was becoming a force to be reckoned with on the global stage. The increase in oil and gas revenues enabled Qatar to invest in critical infrastructure and social development, including housing, education, and healthcare. These investments not only improved the quality of life for Qatari citizens, but also helped stabilize the country's economy in the long run. The wealth from oil and gas also allowed the country to exert influence in regional politics, cementing its role as a key player in the Middle East. The 1980s and beyond, diversification and global investment. While oil and gas remained crucial to Qatar's wealth, the leadership was keenly aware of the need to diversify the country's economy. This led to the creation of the Qatar Investment Authority, QIA, in 2005. The QIA is Qatar's sovereign wealth fund, created to ensure that the country's wealth would not be dependent on oil and gas for the long term. The QIA has played a pivotal role in Qatar's diversification strategy, investing in a wide range of global assets. Did you know that Qatar owns at least 20% of London's Heathrow Airport? In addition to this, Qatar also owns major stakes in companies like Volkswagen, Barclays, and the French football club Paris Saint-Germain. This global reach has ensured that Qatar's wealth continues to grow, even as the country's dependence on oil and gas slowly diminishes. Qatar has also invested heavily in the manufacturing sector. It has become a regional leader in producing steel, petrochemicals, and fertilizers, further bolstering its economy. By moving away from relying solely on oil, Qatar has been able to insulate itself from the global fluctuations in energy prices. Furthermore, its investments in real estate, technology, and global sports have positioned Qatar as a major player in multiple industries. Qatar's economy today, business opportunities and payment systems. In today's world, Qatar is one of the wealthiest nations per capita, with a diversified economy that relies not only on oil and gas, but also on investments, manufacturing, and finance. The country is a major global financial hub, attracting companies from all over the world to set up shop in Doha, the capital. Qatar is also home to a thriving tourism industry, with luxury resorts, world-class shopping centers, and major international sporting events. In recent years, Qatar has heavily invested in its infrastructure, making it an ideal destination for international businesses. The country has become a major business hub, offering tax incentives and a strong legal framework that encourages both regional and global business growth. One of the most crucial aspects of Qatar's financial growth has been its commitment to infrastructure development. The country boasts world-class roads, modern airports, and an advanced telecommunications network, making it an attractive location for foreign investment. Business in Qatar is thriving, with numerous industries such as construction, healthcare, finance, and education booming. The government continues to prioritize investment in infrastructure to ensure that the country remains competitive on the global stage. How business is done in Qatar, payment methods, and financial landscape. Now, let's take a closer look at how business is done in Qatar and the various payment methods used in the country. Qatar has an advanced financial landscape with a modern banking system that's home to many international and local banks. The Qatari Riyal QER is the country's official currency, and most transactions are carried out using this currency. However, digital payments are becoming increasingly common, especially in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. People in Qatar are increasingly using mobile payment systems like Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, and QR code-based systems for their daily transactions. These payment methods have made shopping, dining, and traveling around the country more convenient. Additionally, credit and debit cards are widely accepted, both for local purchases and international transactions. For businesses in Qatar, paying employees and suppliers is streamlined through various online payment platforms. Local businesses also rely on services like PayPal, bank transfers, and even cryptocurrency to conduct their transactions. The government has implemented modern financial regulations that ensure payments are made securely and efficiently. Qatar's banking infrastructure supports both local and international transactions, making it easy for businesses to operate both within the country and globally. Qatarization, building a future workforce. A crucial part of Qatar's economic strategy is the initiative known as Qatarization. This initiative aims to increase the number of Qatari citizens working in key sectors, particularly in oil, gas, and energy. By 2030, the government plans for 50% of the workforce in these industries to be Qatari. This initiative not only creates more jobs for the local population, but also fosters the development of skilled professionals who can take the country's economy forward. Qatar has also made significant strides in empowering its citizens through education, sending many young Qatari students to top universities in the West. This investment in human capital ensures that Qatar will continue to thrive economically, even as the global energy market evolves. By focusing on developing a highly skilled workforce, Qatar is preparing itself for a future that goes beyond its oil and gas reserves. And there you have it, Qatar's incredible journey from a small, underdeveloped nation to one of the wealthiest countries in the world is nothing short of extraordinary. From its vast oil reserves to its investments in global assets and modern technologies, Qatar's success story is a testament to visionary leadership and forward-thinking economic strategies. If you found this video interesting and want to learn more about the world's wealthiest nations and how they make their money, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more content about global economies and financial growth. Also, make sure to click that notification bell so you never miss out on our latest videos. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep exploring the fascinating world of global economics.